Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we start the suspension upgrades on the Camaro Zl1 1Le. But before we do that, let's get the M3 out of the garage, the Camaro in the standard, and let's get a cold start of each. Headphone warning. So from now on, I'm just going to refer to this car as the Camaro Zl1 like someone in the comments suggested, because it's just so much easier to say it that way. But I already know this is coming. Some of you are going to be like, Doris, Woman.Driven, why are you gonna change any of the parts on the Camaro Zl1? It already comes with the best suspension from factory. And while yes, I agree, it is true, it does come with good suspension from factory, but like with anything, there's always room for improvement. I mean, take the Shelby GT350 for example. It handles good stock, but with everything that I've done and all the suspension upgrades, it handles even better at the track where I actually take my cars. But for now, let me show you exactly what I'll be swapping today on the Camaro. If it isn't obvious by the color red, these parts are by BMR, so I'm happy to announce that the Camaro Zl1 is now an ambassador with them. So that means my viewers benefit because you guys get a discount code, which is Driven7. It'll be here in the screen and also in the description down below. And I'm sure that a lot of you know that they not only sell parts for the Camaro, but also for a Mustang and a Challenger. So if any of you are looking to build your car for drag or track, then make sure to check them out because they'll have the parts you need. But now let's get back to the part. So these are the first suspension parts that I will be changing on the Camaro. There will be more to come, but these are upper control arms for the rear, and the main reason that I'm replacing these with the stock ones are just because the stock ones have rubber bushings. These don't. These have these spherical bearings, and this will just make things feel a lot better once I have all the suspension parts that I want done to them. With the GT350, a lot of the suspension upgrades have these spherical bearings, and it's just felt so much better. With the rubber bushings, there's just a lot of play, there's just a lot of binding and deflection, and it just doesn't feel as good as I would want it at the track. Now I know, before anyone asks, yes, I did get a track spec alignment before taking the Camaro to the track, but the problem here is that in Arizona, these tracks are just very slow, and around these slow speed corners where I really have to slow down a lot, and they're just very tight corners, the car just doesn't feel as flat as I would want it to. I could feel the weight shifting, and I think that there's room for improvement with that. Now, once I'm done with all the suspension parts, it should feel much better. There's only one track here in Arizona, AMP, which has high-speed turns, high-speed sweeps, and I did take this car there once. It does feel good, but for the most part, I'm not gonna be on those tracks. I'm gonna be on slower speed tracks where all these suspension upgrades will make a difference, and I will notice how it handles and just the improvement overall. Okay guys, so the next part is to install these parts, but first, I'll need the help of my trusty quick jack so we can place them under the car, raise it up, remove the rear wheels so we can get started. So I already removed the wheels. So this is the upper control arm that I'll be removing. So there's only two bolts. There's one here, and then there's one all the way here at the back. I already know that's going to be a pain just because of the limited space I have to work with. But for these, you just need an 18 socket and an 18 ratcheting wrench. You'll also need a clipper removal tool to remove this cable from here and then also here towards the bottom. So I mean, that's it. There's not much to it, but let's go ahead and get started. So this is the upper control arm that I just removed. So it pretty much looks and feels like any OEM part. And this is exactly what I was referring to, the rubber bushing. So you can see it has a lot of play and it just causes binding and deflection. Now meanwhile, these BMR ones, you can still tell that the quality is way better. The material is just more rigid overall. And as I was referring to before, it has these spherical bearings. Now all I need to do is actually put these bolts up here and then this one down here. I can get it through, and then I just need to align it together so it matches this one and adjust it since these are adjustables. Once I'm done with that, I can install it. So once I'm done with this side, we can move on to the other side. BMR upper control arms are now installed and this is how they look. Now I just have a few things to do. I just need to tighten these nuts right here. So this one and the one here. Then I am gonna use 2 zip ties to tie this cable just because these upper control arms don't have the clips to clip it back to. So I'll tie one here and then another one towards this side. After that, I just need to torque these bolts to 70 foot-pounds. Then I should be all done. Now we can put the wheels back on, lower the cart, and we should be good to go. So now I'm all done. Now before I put the wheels back on, I do have to say that originally I had tightened these nuts towards the center and that was the incorrect way. So I actually had to remove the upper control arms and then tighten them the correct way on the bench, which is towards the outside. So this way, and then the other one towards the opposite way, so away from the center. So do not make the same mistake I did. But now I have the zip ties. So one and then the other one in the center. So we're all good. So now let's put the wheels back on. Okay guys, I'm done. That is it. I'm exhausted, mainly because it's just so hot and humid in this garage. I don't know what I was doing with the long sleeve, but anyways. So that's it for the upper control arm install. I mean, it was pretty simple. It wasn't that hard. Now, I do have other suspension parts coming, so I'm looking forward to that. I really can't test this one just because all of these parts work all together. But that's fine because the next time I go to the track, it won't be with the Camaro, it'll actually be with the Shelby GT350. So that just gives me plenty of time to get all these suspension parts installed on this car. Now, I'm realizing now that the footage probably wasn't the best with you guys being able to see exactly what I was doing. So I think for the next future installation videos, I'm just going to take a page from Chris Fix, and it's just a 6, and just strap a headband with a GoPro on my head. I think that'll show everything much better, at least for you guys. But I mean, that's pretty much it. It was only one tedious thing, just getting that bolt all the way at the rear and then me messing up with those nuts, tightening them towards the center instead of towards the outside. So don't make that mistake. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.